while waiting for the green light?
I mean, we were in pre-production. The movie just wasn't technically greenlit, so I wasn't getting paid.
One thing we sometimes don't talk about with some of these bigger streaming platforms is that, you know, it's a different business model. It's not necessarily about making money back. It's about brand.
I'll go around town. I'll ask a bunch of financiers to come give us like $250,000, which is so cheap to make a movie that could get into Sundance and sell. And they won't blink, they'll just give it to us. And all I want is to say, just give me the money. When we sell the movie, I'll take half of what it sells for, you take half what it sells for. It's like indie rock deals. You know?
Right.
Like, it'll be great.
50-50.
And I took it around town and everybody wanted to finance it. I was like, I found the model! This is incredible! And we took meeting after meeting, and every single one of them couldn't keep their fucking hands out of the cookie jar.
Any of us at this table would have an easier time getting a $100 million movie made than a $10 million movie.
Most of the films, even the big blockbusters, have done 90 to 95% of their business within, 3 or 4 weeks.
And I'm not going to comment on the specifics of what anybody makes or doesn't make.
So the reaction from everyone in the media world and investor world and Wall Street was, holy cow, that's a big number. What was the reaction inside Disney?
Holy cow, that's a big number.
2x, 3x, larger than we thought.
A lot larger.
By a lot.
There's a lot we don't know about the movie business. The actual profits in the movie business are quite elusive numbers, as there aren't any officially released when it comes to marketing costs, product placement, or ancillary profits. The numbers we do get are the movie budgets, which accounts for the pre-production, production, and post-production, and box office sales, which is the money made from the theatrical release either as a domestic count or an international one. Generally, what we do know is that money is being made, and a lot of it. Major production companies are also major distribution companies, so viewers lost to streaming services are compensated for by the majors through big budget movies that are meant to be enjoyed in the theater. The distribution companies gain most from the box office sum, as they claim 90% of the revenue the opening weekend, and then succeeding to claim less the following week, and so on, eventually dropping to around 30% after several weeks. The exhibitors mainly survive on the high-priced concession stands, which covers around 70% of their revenue. So, there are crazy big $250 million budgets with $890 million gains. Sometimes there are major losses even with $100 million of gains. The majors are able to shelter this cost of large-scale filmmaking in both production and distribution. But what about the minor leagues? How are they supposed to keep up? Is there any way to guarantee a profit? Is there any way to make money in the same weekend as a $250 million movie is playing? And can you even have success in the theater anymore? All these questions are constantly marinating in the industry, but there is one company that seems to have figured out the answers. Blumhouse has made a name for themselves in low-budget filmmaking, responsible for the critically acclaimed and high-grossing movies like Get Out, Whiplash, Insidious, and Paranormal Activity. These movies range from $15,000 to $5 million budgets, and have made between $50 to $250 million in the box office, some creating even more lucrative franchises. So, why, who, how, what? For starters, Blumhouse calculates roughly the worst case scenario. If the movie bombs, they will be able to go away from the project unscathed, virtually setting up a risk-free production, gaining back the production costs from revenues like international releases and streaming. They are able to do this by paying the crew by scale. By scale means that the filmmakers would gain a lot of money from the movie if it's a success, but up front they are only paid the legally required minimum. J-Lo was only paid around $12,000 up front to star in the movie The Boy Next Door. They have contracts drawn up so specific payments are hinged to specific profit levels so that the crew knows what they will get depending on how well the movie does. That includes the pay for Blumhouse as well. Who they pick for these projects are mainly directors who have made something before and are looking to greenlight stories that have been going nowhere. The Purge had been circulated for around 3 years before making almost $90 million on a $3 million budget for Blumhouse. Choosing experienced directors is also a way to cut costs, as they know their craft, thereby efficient and mindful about what will actually make it into the movie. Those directors are then given close to free range on the film itself, which is a massive change in the filmmaking process compared to the big budget studios. For example, getting final cut on the movie is usually only reserved for the big wigs in the industry, but is a given with Blumhouse. Instead of directors and writers dreading the all-powerful studio note, they want the input, knowing they will still maintain full creative freedom. That's the key thing about Blumhouse. Low budgets allow for creative freedom. Blumhouse especially looks for original ideas they haven't seen before and then try to work with these established directors to execute them. They do get some limits to the execution though. The Blumhouse low-budget triangle. The directors are allowed to pick between location, stunts and special effects, or speaking roles. Some movies allow for more wealth distribution than others, but you can see that even Get Out, which is closer to the 5 million mark, was still mainly filmed in one location. Cutting location costs seem to be the popular choice among directors, as most Blumhouse horror movies are house-related. Most of the time the production stays in LA, so that they can cut traveling costs and hire quality talent that would rather take a lower upfront payment and stay close to their home and family than leave for that bigger upfront paycheck. They generally schedule around 20 to 25 days of shooting to stay within the budget. The kind of movies Blumhouse is known for are horror movies, and again that is a strategic choice as they are the most successful in the theaters and the cheapest to make. When a movie is finished, they test screen it in theaters and only then decide how they're going to distribute it. They have a first show contract with Universal, so if Universal approves, they do a wide release. And if they don't, Blumhouse decides if they want to release it themselves, which one time led to a record-breaking,
the lowest grossing wide release film ever of all time.
They can also decide not to do a wide release and instead recuperate the cost through international releases and ancillary markets like Netflix or iTunes. The largest user base for horror movies are women under 25, so marketing is heavily digitally based, again conducted by Universal. So, if the Blumhouse model is so successful, why aren't other companies replicating this? Jason Blum, the founder of Blumhouse, generally answers this question with ego. There's a need to be the biggest and baddest. If you've had a success, the natural progression is a more expensive movie. Being the biggest and baddest can also create a media circus, boosting those profitable first weekend ticket sales. Their model also mainly works for genre movies, and obviously that is not the only type of movie that there is. For example, Marvel movies wouldn't be the same without the grandeur of their special effects and star casts. Also keep in mind that there is a war going on. Streaming studios are fighting over writers and directors and want to accumulate impressive content that draw people into their platforms for years to come. Streaming services are willing to pay big money upfront, which can be a huge draw for filmmakers. Although they might have gotten more money with the Blumhouse model, the upfront money is a guarantee. Staying with the model requires discipline, although there are some exceptions to the Blumhouse rules, like sequels. They get more funding as they are guaranteed to make more money. You would think boxing in an idea with limitations would be, well, limiting, but really it opens up for innovation. A lot of the scary in a scary movie lies in the unseen and the imagination, so not having something be shown on screen is usually a benefit. When you make a movie like this, you don't have to worry about making a franchise. Instead, you can focus on the story at hand without having an ending fit for a sequel. With a non-risk production, the more risk you can take in the film, like unconventionally killing off a character halfway into the movie. Without massive costs to recuperate, there's no need for product placement, which also would take a toll on the creative freedom. Stripping away options also make you have to focus on the characters in the story, to make it as good as it can be. And that has always been at the core of a great movie, regardless of expensive one-shot practical effects or not. Jason Blum, the founder of Blumhouse, is the one who established this model after being frustrated with the industry for 13 years. After working on a big-budget movie and with big-budget studios, he decided he wanted to create his own business. Working with Paramount, he got to develop the model, with the $15,000 Paranormal Activity. Then, after being fired from that same company, he started up Blumhouse Productions and produced Insidious. From there on out, he has stuck to the model and has become one of the most renowned producers in Hollywood. What is so refreshing about Jason Blum is that he claims to have his success built on failures and a do-it-yourself attitude. It's amazing even just how open he is about their numbers and their process, because as a lot of people have pointed out, it could be easily replicated. He has also set an example in the industry, having his actions speak louder than words when it comes to diversity. 50% of the company consists of women, including the heads of departments. You can also see their content frontlining minorities and women, with Blumhouse stating, "I think just making sure we're hearing stories from all different people, races, colors, however they identify sexually. I think that represents the audience, and the audience wants stories about themselves. I think it's important that the filmmakers and the creators of shows that we work with represent the audience we're trying to serve." All these things I've talked about combined makes for a great production company and for some great movies.